All right, so we are on relationships, subject number one, episode number one. We are already done zero where I introduced the whole concept of relationships to you and how you should be looking at them ideally. That doesn't mean you listen to me, you can make your own opinion. But even then, just hear me out, hear what I'm saying. So, we are going to explore relationships from an energy point of view. Okay, what exactly is energy? And when I said relationships are basically an exchange of energy, what exactly does this mean? Okay, bear with me for a second. You may find this unscientific, you may say this is absolute pseudo nonsense, but today even science is saying everything is energy. So what exactly is energy? Let's see. Energy, okay, is an exchange basically that is happening. And what is it an exchange of? Mental, physical, okay, thought, verbal, okay, these are in all your relationships. This is basically happening. Okay, you can even say financial. Finance is a form of energy, right? So now all these are basically the sum of your relationships. All this exchange that is happening is what a relationship is. But what exactly is happening here? What is a good relationship? What is a bad relationship? What is an unhealthy relationship? Now let's take an example. Let's assume that a relationship has a threshold. Okay, this is the room of your relationship. You are in it, someone else is in it. Okay, let's assume you and your wife, or you and your husband, you and your partner. Okay, now you have an exchange of energy, right? This room cannot take more than 10 units. Okay, if it goes more than 10 units, it becomes unhealthy. It becomes an unhealthy relationship. So assume each one is giving each other 5. That is an equal relationship, and that is very rare. It almost never happens. One person is always slightly more dominant. So let's assume a 6 here, okay, and let's assume a 4 here, right? So one person is giving slightly less energy, one person is giving more energy. So the person who is 6, right, has a slight more dominance. Most relationships are 7-3, okay, 8-2, or okay, something like that. Now it doesn't matter man or woman, or both are men or both are women, or whatever in the relationship, someone is going to be slightly dominant. If there is something like a 5-5, nothing like it, unbeatable. But most of them are slightly dominant. So what happens is when there is a fight, right, the energy here is exchanged more, right? That means it goes to more than 10. That means if we take this room, and these are two people, each are giving each other 7. That means they are shouting at each other, okay, they hate each other, there is constant barrage of words, there's a constant argument. You've come down to 14. That means the room is overheated, right? You tend to get out, like when you feel very uncomfortable and you get out of the actual room and you try and cool down and you let them cool down. Why is that? Because you want it to go from 14 to 10, right? Now when there is awkwardness, when two people don't want to talk, when the fight is over, then then it comes down to each person giving each other 4 and 4 or worth of energy. All right, are you getting it? So this is what happens here. Now 4 and 4 means there is a gap of 2, right? Minus 2. This is plus 4. This is minus 2. That means there is an awkwardness in the room. There's a vacuum. Nature doesn't like a vacuum, and even you don't like a vacuum because you are a part of nature. So this is awkwardness. So we understand when you're giving an equal, more or less equal amount of energy, a certain amount of energy, it is an equal relationship. Okay. When you're not giving less energy than is required, then it is an awkward relationship. When you're giving more, it is a overheated relationship. Now most relationships work like this. Okay, let's talk here like this. 1, 2. Okay, this is a constant graph of the relationship. If this is 10, okay, then you're going to 14, then you're going to 8, okay, then you're going to 9, then you're going to 15. This is happening. You're fighting, you're coming back, you're fighting, you're coming back. There's a little bit of awkwardness, then you're this. But your average should be 10. That is what a healthy relationship is. A healthy relationship cannot maintain 10 all the time. Okay, someone is going to get pissed off, someone is going to get disappointed, someone is going to withdraw, someone is going to reach out. All this is constantly happening. So one is giving more energy, one is giving less energy. This adjustment is going to constantly happen. And when people have been with each other for years, or they are really in love with each other, or they really like each other, or they work well together, they tend to keep that 10 at a minimum. That means it doesn't go above 12 and it doesn't go below 8. They have realized each other's energy. Consciously or unconsciously, they have understood each other and they are now vibing. Okay, Sometimes you meet someone who you vibe with immediately. Like you have a certain energy, let's say you have 6 and they have 4 and you vibing full on, okay? Then there are some intense relationships where the energy is constantly at 15, 16. The room is always overheated. But both these people are comfortable with that overheated room. Very few people are comfortable with awkwardness. Like people don't like lesser energy in the room. They feel weird. Okay, and if you'll come to the course, if you'll come here, I will teach you the types of people who absorb energy, the types of people who give out energy, okay, who reflect energy. These are all different kinds of people who work with energy naturally. And what you have to do is find your energy, and ideally you must try and find, you must be able to move through energy, this like you must look at the world as energy, okay? And if there is a shortage of energy, fill it up. If there is an excess of energy, absorb it. That is what you must become. You should be able to be a 2, a 5, a 9, depending on the situation, an 8, whatever. All these, you should be able to go up and down. Now, the details of this I cannot give on YouTube, obviously. So, if you come to BlackSheep Academy and I teach you all this in detail, we have discussions, we have debates, that is the idea. But the idea is you must be resilient. Resilient. That is the whole point of what I am trying to tell you. Be resilient, move according to the energy, but realize that there is always an energy game, even among groups. Groups is a whole subject in itself, but we have to basically understand from two people's point of view. Then you will understand groups, then you will understand politicians running countries, governments versus people. All these are just energy scales that are playing at different levels. So that is the basics. Try and be resilient. If you can come here, if we can teach, if we can debate, that will be nothing like it. It will be much better, and we can go into depth detail of this subject.